can be rather revolting to play up against, I want to say. Neon Esports, though, sure they have some other options available to them. Of course, the Slider is somewhat of a flex pick, as we did see in that last game. It can still be run as a position 4 as well as a position 3 if you so wish. Neon will have a bit of a think about it. Of course, we should give a quick shout out. Mofara is apparently around watching some SEA Dota. Hello, sweetheart. Good to see you around. Welcome to the best region in the world. Of course, he's usually stuck in EU, which I'm sure he's rather depressed about. But he's come over to say hello in the SEA region, so that's kind of nice. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Enjoy your stay. Hopefully, chat. Hopefully, chat doesn't fly by too fast. Chat can. It sometimes devolves, and you've got a Filipino team here, not a Rambulan, sadly, but close enough, right? Like you've got Raven, and you've got Raven. that's enough to call it that way. It used to be more. Remember when what was it? AU was there, right? AU was there, and then we were like, "Oh, Fnatic's now Filipino again." It's just two guys. Come on, chill out a bit. But yeah, oh no, DJ's there too. Raven DJ. How could I forget? So it is kind of there, right? Like that's 2 out of 5. Good count.
I suppose. I'm not going to play the intro video again, by the way, John. Everyone laughed at me when I played it. They just spammed LUL, and I was very upset. I was very, very nervous and anxious about playing that video, and they laughed at me. So I can't play it again, sir. Fnatic, they will go into the Leshrac. Unsurprisingly, the Lesh has been very, very popular, which kind of begs the question, John. I've been meaning to ask you this. Leshrac's been probably popular again for the past maybe 2 weeks. Does it deserve a ban in the not a ban, a nerf in the next patch?
A nerf? I don't think so. I think the Leshrac still has weaknesses you can exploit. It might be popular now, but if you recall in the group stages of Summit 13, it wasn't that strong. If you recall in BTS Pro Series 3, it wasn't that strong as well. So I think it's just the playstyle's changed again, where Leshrac can come out, counteract what's coming out from other teams right now, can really carry its own from mid, but I think it'll take some adjustment. Players should recognize the shortcomings of the Lesh and kind of play against its timing. So we'll see if that's going to be the case here. It's still highly effective though. Leshrac IO is a combination that doesn't get talked too much, but it can do work if you do run this combination. Of course, there are better combos out there for the IO left. Neon with the Undying, with the Slaughter. I mean, we've seen the Undying really pop in recent weeks as well. Just been very popular as a healer and as a very domineering support in lane. So you have two very strong laners here already, the Slaughter and Undying. Shout out to Neon for banning out the Tide Hunter, realizing that, oh yeah, Masaros is there, can't give him the Tide. And we do ban it out. So no dad bod for Masaros this game, sadly. I'm going to miss it.
How sad. It is definitely sad. We do love ourselves a Masaros Tide. Fnatic last ban out to come. They've been focusing on the position 1s right now for Neon Esports. Just trying to get rid of any heroes that Natsumi feels comfortable on in that position 1 role. They got rid of the PA, of course, which is, the one that always comes to mind. They also get rid of the Spectre, which is fair enough. One last one. I always thought you'd kind of rather focus on a player like Yopaj in that mid lane, especially if you are on Fnatic's end, but they are seemingly just making sure that Natsumi is the one who's going to feel very uncomfortable.
I think that's the right play. Natsumi, back in the Adroit days, and back in 032 as well, it's been sort of up and down the performance. I think they understand if you force him to play outside his comfort range, it's something you can exploit deeply. Fnatic do pick up this Drow Ranger. Now, that is fairly early, but we have seen this before. IO Drow coming out once more for Fnatic, and they've done this before. A really straightforward draft. Can machine gun towers with a Leshrac. In fact, these 3 heroes, I think they've run this draft before, haven't they? It feels very recent. Melt objectives fast. You can pick up the Venge as a follow-up support to get yourself a swap save for the Drow and to play with that aura. So Fnatic's got a really straightforward draft. Not much thinking done here. Just hit your item timings. Hold out the lane. So the biggest issue now is Neon has these 2 strong laners in Slaughter and Undying, plus whatever else they draft. As long as they don't get overrun early on, Fnatic is a huge power spike in that mid game here.
That they are. Neon, how do we respond? It is a third pick Drow, so you have plenty of opportunity to try and find a hero that can just jump the back lines and take care of it. And of course, Tiny would be one of the options. The question is though, is it going to be a mid Tiny or do they want to run the position for Tiny? So we do know that they are quite flexible with that. And John, you look like you want to say something. What is it?
No, I'm sorry, I tabbed out. Dougie sent me a distraction. Dougie, how dare you distract me with a meme? He sent me an image of something from Cyberpunk. He loves reminding me of the arms that I encountered in Cyberpunk. There's that weird bug.
I knew that was going to happen, by the way, with Cyberpunk. I knew it was going to be way...
Hey, it's a great game. It's just buggy. Like, not game-breaking bugs, but, you know, visually buggy at parts. But it's fun, and I like the bugs. I'm the kind of guy who played Fallout New Vegas looking for the bugs. You know, it's like... It breaks immersion, but it's just so freaking hilarious. I think if you can't laugh at them, then... You know, you might be taking stuff a bit too seriously. It's in the end a game, you know? Although, I suppose we kind of dig on Dota 2 being beta, Mike, so hey, maybe it is just a game.
Don't be a Cyberpunk apologist, John. If the game's garbage, just say it's garbage.
We're
an SCA anyway. The likelihood is 99% of people here... Oh, no. Arc Warden pops up. This is... So we have...
Very Cyberpunk.
No, it's not. Unless you mean, you know, it's garbage like Cyberpunk is, John. If that's what you're trying to tell me.
No.
Drow Ranger versus Arc Warden. You know, the OS Frog matchup between the two, right? who has a longer range when they attack? Who can just drag out the game for longer? We're about to find out in this episode of Neon versus Fnatic. It should be a very fun one to watch. I'm sure. The creeps will die.
Man.
I can guarantee you many, many creeps will die in this matchup as the Arc Warden vs. Drow tend to kill a lot of creeps. Still,
that they do. That's the one thing we know for certain. This is an awkward one for a Drow. I mean, because Arc Warden, right, the bubble comes in. You don't really want to walk up as a Drow, so this is actually one really nice way to handle that for Neon. And of course, we've seen Natsumi play this. Like, we've seen him wreck face with the Arc Warden, so it's a sensible pickup. Not the kind of combination you expect with a Slardar. So we're going to have to see how else they tie this draft up. Looks like they might just shift. This is actually a strange one. You were asking me about Tiny Core a while ago. I think it's actually looking like it could be the Opage Tiny, maybe, coming through. The Slardar going support in the last pick off for Skem. Unless he just plays that Slardar off. Has something else last pick, so... Still some options for flexibility on Neon, Fnatic for their part, ET coming in. I don't know about that. Like ET and Lush is nice. You can really drag down the natural resist of all of these heroes, but I feel like Venge would have been much more value with a Lush Drow. Not as much control, but so much more value in the push and so much more Osfrog balance coming out there.
Osfrog is good, John. Neon Esports. Final pickup here. What are they lacking? Like, are we looking for a mid laner here for Yopaj? Are we looking for another position 4, perhaps? Could we possibly see the return of the mid-earth spirit for Yopaj? One of my favorites.
5 seconds remain.
Yeah, perhaps. It could line up well. Gives them some good gap closing as well if they wanted to. Still, again, could slide in because of the Slaughter Tiny flexibility there, but they don't have too much reserve time left, so Neon's got to dig hard. Issue is laning for the Lush up against Lush, so the ES against Lush could be a bit dicey if they go that way. Oh, okay, they get the Osfrog.
Alright, so here we go. Alright, so mid-tiny, they're going to run the Pos for Undying or Venge. I'm going to predict it right now. I guarantee Neon Esports is going to find a telescope as well. You know what?
Oh, yeah.
Not only a telescope, the Arc Warden will find a Grove Bow, the Venge will find a telescope, and then we will have the true Ice Frog experience in this Dota 2 match.
Yeah, definitely. That's all we need. That's all we need. Funny enough, I feel like we've seen Natsumi kind of run this as well, Arc Warden plus Venge. So It comes in, it slides through. We just have to see how Neon wants to lane. Support you of Undying Venge sounds pretty. It sounds okay, but also kind of underwhelming in a sense. But you can make it work. The scam here is going to be important here. More than likely, we're seeing the Yopaj Tiny, which is nice. I don't know how you can manage to lane against Leshrac as a melee hero, but you do have decent wave clear anyway. So you should still be able to find farm, worst case scenario. But Fnatic, they do close out with a CK. So it's time to bust your PC, Mike. It's like you're playing Cyberpunk.
Here we go again. Another Aghanim CK to go. So we've got Tempest doubles and we've got CK illusions to bring out. Why the hell not? It should make for a very, very fun matchup. Game number 1 between Neon Esports and Fnatic, of course. Neon, a bit more desperate for the points right now. They are sitting in bottom place, along with Motivate Trust, I believe, just tied there. Unless...
Yeah.
No, they are now officially bottom place because Motivate did win out that series 2-0. So Motivate's gone to 7th. Neon go to 8th place. And of course, if Neon can win this 2-0, then they'll tie with Motivate in that 7th place spot. You know, just as many points as they can get would be nice. Meanwhile, for Fnatic, they are in 4th place right now. So for them, they are kind of on the cusp of going down to the lower bracket. They are actually timed, they are actually tied, is what I was meant to say, with Team Dog. So they definitely also need the points. And so both teams will be looking for a 2-0 victory if they can afford to get one.
Yeah, it's going to be important to start climbing up. We'll see how it unfolds. Masaru's on the Chaos Knight. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really feel like a Masaru's hero, does it? Like, I'm sure he can do well, but it's not the kind of, strut your stuff, confident Tide Hunter in the front, doesn't care how he looks, just twacks people down, rocks the dad bod. A different look with the CK. He looks much more dignified, Masaru's on the CK. His set is certainly much more dignified as well. We'll have to see how it goes, how his Ag's timing is, and how hard it will melt these PCs. Going to be a big factor in picking that CK. I swear, half the time you pick a CK, it's also to just crash the enemy PCs. I think that might be a factor in picking that hero now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. It's like you said earlier, we're still in beta. It hasn't been long enough that we can have, optimization patches and actually have a game that runs smoothly. I mean, it's like you pointed out, right? Cyberpunk, it's been in the making for like how many years now? They bring it out 8, right? So there you go.
Yeah, around about 8.
If Cyberpunk's not working properly, then why should Dota work properly?
Makes sense. It is visually demanding. Look at this ray tracing effects
How
here on
dare you?
Dota 2.
How dare you? This is very visually demanding, John. There's trees everywhere. There's a couple rocks here and there. You know what you're talking about. Cyberpunk doesn't look anywhere near as good as Dota 2.
You're right,
Look at
Mike.
this.
You're
Look at
right.
this
I take
crowd.
it back.
Look at this. There's a pumpkin on her head, John. That's very visually demanding.
It is.
Look at that.
Look at those. Yeah, the shadows it casts, the light it casts on these low res trees.
funny-
It's outstanding.
Funny you should bring that up, John. I don't actually have shadows enabled right now. 'Cause my FPS has been dropping so much ever since Tide came out. I actually had to remove the shadows.
Oh no! It still looks good, Mike. I'm sure it looks fine. We're fine here. We're fine. It's all fine. We're just experiencing the average Dota user's experience. Right. This is how we're all playing now. Thanks, Val.
Thank you, sirs. 2 for 2 bounty rune trade.
Welcome
A nice little start.
Dota match.
Shout out to the mods that banned Mofara in the chat, by the way. Thank you for doing it before I did.
Did he really?
Someone timed out Mo, which made me very, very happy.
Oh, Automod. It's
Welcome
starting to
to-
get too far.
No, it wasn't. I believe it was Dougie.
Oh, bless. Still, we've got lanes to watch out here, Mike. Natsumi down bot with Januel this time around. So it's our Arc Ward and Undying lane, not the most common duo. And you've got this classic. We didn't even get to mention this. Fnatic. IO CK. I mean, I've been ranting about IOCK ever since we've seen IO pop back in, but it comes out, Fnatic's the one to carry it. We'll have to see how far Masters can get done, but with an IO around, he's not going to be under too much threat, even with an Undying. He's just going to get too much regen here from jabs.
Yeah, absolutely. Genuel gonna try his best to make sure Natsumi has the best lane he possibly can. We'll have a look over to the mid lane as well, though, while we have a chance. Of course, Moon on the Leshrac, actually dragging a creep wave behind his tier 1 mid tower. And I actually really like this from Moon. Just resetting equilibrium in the lane, making it much harder for his enemy, of course, in the Tiny to fight back. And it's going to allow him to just guarantee some CS, as Yopaj now doesn't really have a way to kind of fight back in terms of CS at the moment. Of course, the creep wave is going to push back Yopaj's way, but it is going to give Moon the level advantage, and now Yopaj might actually be dead. Moon, Lightning Strike's available, Fairy Fire. It's going to be eaten up. Moon won't bother with the last Lightning Strike quite yet. He will hold on to the mana, but it's a very clever play from Moon to get that XP advantage with that creep pool. And he was hoping to get the kill at level 3 with that level advantage, but he doesn't quite get it. Does at least force out the Fairy Fire and a full bottle.
I mean, Moon got a lot from that pull. He gets the deny in one range creep, he gets the full wave, he's got a full wave advantage over Yopaj. He's not been able to clear out too many of these creeps under towers because of the pressure Moon's applying. At the least, Yopaj with his early bottle does stay for a bit longer, and Moon is going to have to ferry out his own bottle soon as we start to approach the 4-minute mark. Still a ways off, but you do want to have that added regen up. We're going to have to see if the supports can come in to secure those power runes as we do take a look up top. Skem is around with Playhard, so he's on the off-lane Venge this time. Playhard trying to apply some pressure on the Slaughter. There's some potency here down the line for a lot of minus armor. We're talking about Corrosive Haze along with Wave of Terror, dragging these heroes down, but so far this lane is going to be steady. Not much pressure you can apply to Raven. He's got a lot of range.
Bot lane, big trouble here for the Undying, but looks like he is going to be able to survive with a massive soul rip. This bottom lane has been what appears to be very aggressive here from Masaros and Jabs. So far, so good for Fnatic in at least 2 out of 3 lanes, but I'd argue pretty much every lane is going their way right now. And Esports need to try and catch up a little bit. So if they do fall too far behind up against this Fnatic draft, it can start to feel impossible to fight back, especially once that Aghanim Scepter is going to be up on the Chaos Knight.
Yeah, that's the big factor. Like, if Masaros gets the smooth start, which he currently is, it's going to be hard to fight into it if the Ags comes in timely. Natsumi is top of last hit, so this is the one big saving grace for Neon, the fact that their Arc Warden is getting some space down bot to farm up. Midas timing shouldn't be too rough here for Natsumi, and once you have that Midas, well, it's a smooth start to get into that farming mode on this hero. Still, bounty runes, power runes do spawn up, and Yopaj does get a nice haste. Might have an opportunity to go for a kill.
He may. Problem is, he is lacking a bit of mana right now, but I suppose once he pops the haste, he'll have the bottle charges to use.
Januel.
It's going to be in a bit of trouble again, it appears. Januel, it's going to be alright. Magnetic Field does make it so it's kind of hard to hit people. Natsumi does keep him safe, but that does mean you had to skill up Magnetic Field fairly early on. I'm not an Arc Warden player, John, so I'm not sure if that's how you're meant to skill it. But that is what Natsumi does. Is now Masaros going to be targeted. Yopaj going to make that big rotation you talked about, and that should be Masaros dead. He actually denies the creeps off before he does die. So he gets a bit more value out of his own death, but a nice rotation out from Yopaj.
Yep, really perfectly timed as well. Comes out right around the time the bounty rune spawn. So he gets to pick one up, refill his bottle, and go back mid.
Well, DJ also going down up at that top lane. Playhard the one to pick that one up, and now they'd love to go after Raven. They have a magic missile in just a second, but the Crush will come out first, and Raven might be the other one to die. He actually gets the kill before he does go down, however. Nice multi-shot out from Raven, and it's still a good pick off there for Neon Esports, but Raven won't be too upset about that.
Yeah, it's not going to hurt as much. He at least covers that loss just a bit, so he doesn't lose too much gold. Is a bit disheartened by the loss of EXP though. Skem gets a lot more in this lane. He's going to hit level 6 at a good time. He's going to get a few more last hits as well. So you are missing out a bit for Raven, but they have left this Drow alone, and this is something you're going to have to deal with. If you're a solo Drow, you are very vulnerable to any of these heroes just running up and getting you out of position.
Absolutely. Jabs making the rotation back down to the bot lane, it seems. Genuel just kind of following Jabs around. Moon is really having a great time with this Leshrac, I might add, John. Just CSing like a madman right now, way far ahead of anyone else. He's being followed up by Natsumi on the Arc Warden, which is going to be fairly important for the side of Neon Esports to make sure that this Arc Warden is able to secure a quick Midas. It looks like, judging by the fact that he is CSing well, it shouldn't be too long. But as I'm talking about CS, Masaros is also doing a pretty darn good job himself. So it does feel like both teams are fairly even at this stage of the game, at least in terms of farm. As top lane, you have Paj, Avalanche toss out onto DJ, but he's going to be alright. Now back in with the Astral Spirit on to, it wasn't actually onto anyone. Everyone just gets out, but Moon is going to be able to get play hard on the Slardar. Nice rotation out of the Leshrac, and he's going to go back to the jungle, but your Paj going to come back in onto the Elder Titan. Gets DJ down and even gets a TP wasted as he TPs down bot now. Natsumi was falling a bit low, but the rotations are there. But they don't really have any way to lock anyone down. Jabs does kind of rotate himself backwards to help Masaros out. The stun does fly out, and that'll be enough. This tiny rotation will mean nothing. Or maybe it will. He still gets an Avalanche toss, and Jabs thought he had left, but it was just a bit of a backstep there from Yopaj.
Yeah, a really good pickoff for Yopaj to have. He did TP down. He needed to find something from that rotation. They relieve some pressure out from Natsumi, and that does give Natsumi the space to pull back, get his Midas. Good timing with his Tempest double out as well. So they're going to be able to get some efficiency on the map, and this is when the Arc Warden starts to pull ahead. He may be down 20 CS.
Raven, he ran back into play hard for a second there, and he's going to cop a lot of harass here. The Spark Wraith does also land, and there's another one coming out now with the Slitherine Crush. Play hard, really trying to set up for this kill. The Tree Toss and Yopaj is able to set up. Now looking for DJ, but Moon has rotated over onto Play Hard, but the Split Earth will not land. Yopaj still playing around here, but is taking a lot of damage. A nice toss back, however, will mean he is able to walk out of there, and Moon is not able to finish off the kill. Meanwhile, Play Hard back in onto DJ, and Play Hard making so much space happen across this map. DJ get away for now, unless Yopaj can toss the tree perfectly, but he will not. Gets a toss back, however, with an avalanche, and that is a great play out of the Tiny. That's what I haven't seen before, John.
Oh, Yopaj. I mean, he is a tiny god, right? Like we've seen this guy dominate with his tiny, with his quick blinks and his activity around the map. He's doing that without the blink. They've taken a slight net worth lead here on Neon's side, 7-2 as well on the kill board. Really active on the map, not the same activity on Fnatic. You're seeing DJ play a lot more reserved with his Elder Titan. He's lacking the levels on this ET as well. He is taking the backseat as they are trying to give more levels up, more space out for Jabs to kind of build up on the IO. And they are still, you know, they're keeping up in farm, keeping up in the last hits, but the net worth spread is really even for all of these cores. So the slight lead on Neon isn't by much. Fnatic's not too far behind as well, but having this much EXP split out does feel a lot more important for Neon, as you can see Raven is starting to clear out some big ancient stacks. This is where the IO Drow starts to really kick into gear. Neon does not have wards there. So this is something that they are kind of lacking, just control in the jungle. They're not respecting the ancient stacks in the triangle, and Fnatic's going to get a huge gold boost from this.
Well, 10-minute runes are about to spawn up. Ancient stacks being taken right now by Raven. Of course, we do have a quick pause out. It was someone very rude in the chat before, John, I've got to say.
Yeah?
Someone asked what MLP stands for. They didn't say the My Little Pony, but They did say something else that starts with P, John. For the record, everyone, it's not My Little Pony either, but, you know, thanks for asking. But, I mean, I get...
now...
Hey?
Isn't it now My Little PogChamp?
I mean, I guess we could say that. That's better than Pony and PP was the word that somebody else used. My Little PP.
How immature.
It was rather
immature.
immature. It didn't feel good, John.
You're giving me some low-hanging ammo here that I'm not gonna grab, but you're making it really hard not to reach down, Mike.
Play hard. Top lane, gonna go into DJ now. DJ in big trouble. Yopaj around as well. This should be a very easy kill. And it will be. The 6th kill of the game already for our Tiny. He's just absolutely on fire. And as I say that,
What?
Januel and Skem killing off Moon in the mid lane. How?
That is... Yeah, no, I have no clue how you do that. Maybe they offensively swapped. Looks like they did use one swap in, get the decay stacks off. Soul Rip is pretty huge now at level 3, level 4. So Moon overstepping a bit. Has to watch himself. He was one of the highest net worth on his team. Now he's back down. A clear 1k lead for Neon. They are starting to apply some pressure on towers, and this is... you know, they've got the Venge. They can actually melt these towers fairly decently if they put the numbers up.
Oh, DJ's been caught out again on this Elder Titan. He's in big trouble. Moon's going to try and help him out, and now the relocate's going to be there with Japs and Raven. Even Masaros joining in. They really want the Tiny, and Moon will be the one to take all that gold away. And with that kill, they seem to feel very confident in trying to go after that mid-tier 1 tower. It's still not going to be easy, however. Neon looks like they want to try and stand their ground. Fnatic probably won't really have enough time to finish off that tier 1 mid. When I say finish off, I mean they haven't even gotten started.
No, it didn't take as... they couldn't get as much damage out. They will smoke up, though. They've got the numbers here. They want to make something happen. They're eyeing down bot.
Well, Jabs, he's going to be corrosive hazed up.
Oh.
Nothing too special. Meanwhile, Skem, he's stunned up. Stomp also there with Moon, with all that magic damage, is going to be able to help set up to get the kill. And maybe now with the Venge down, they could try and get back to that tier 1 mid tower if they really want. Moon even finding a regen rune now, so he does have the free reset in his bottle. Looks like they are going to get started.
Yeah, this should be a really fast push. It's the Venge and Lesh. They can melt these towers really quick. And the Fortify is going to stall it out a bit. And you do have Yopaj hanging in the back, so they don't get as much damage as you'd expect with that Fortify out. And Playhard's just constantly up front, trying to force something out. The blink up on Yopaj, though. Major power spike for Tiny, and this not including that one overextension. Yopaj has been on point, so we'll see if the blink allows him to reach even further back and find some key pickoffs here.
Yeah, in the meantime as well, like, we haven't really talked about it much, but Natsumi's been freely farming up this whole time. He's, of course, he does have the Midas, and should probably use it, and there you go, he does. But he's also got the Maelstrom coming out very soon, and these timings are very quick for Natsumi. This is going to be a bit of a problem, John. Generally with the Arc Wardens, they don't really have the top of the net worth at this time of the game, but well, this game, they've made so much space for Natsumi. He's just having the freest time of his life. You got to wonder if Fnatic can put up with it later on.
Down the line, I think their biggest key to dealing with that is going to be Masaros and the Reality Rift. That's the best way to throw this Arc Warden out of position. So Masaros' timing is going to be key. The Ags, the PC Buster is almost done, Mike. Just about 1.1k away. So Masaros is going to be able to get that next level play out, crash some PCs with his illusions. We'll see how much that will carry him through. You can see Neon clumping up mid, though. They really want this mid tier 1 gone.
That should really be the like the benchmark test for that 3080. Just all the new products. Just pick CK, run Ags, see if it can handle the frames. Play hard, gonna get rifted up. 4-second stun coming up from Masaros as well. All skill from Masaros there. With that, that'll be play hard going down. They are still definitely wanting to go after that mid-tier 1 tower, but it seems though Fnatic, they kind of let that go for now. Instead, maybe start pressuring the mid, or rather bot tier 2. But speaking of mid, Moon is going to go back onto Yopaj. Now the relocate is there. Januel, he's going to pop the Flesh Golem, going onto Raven. There is Jabs going down, and now Raven getting blown up by the Soul Rip. Moon's been stunned up. The Earthsplitter there, back to try and go up against Neon, but Moon, he's just way too low. He's going to go down, and now Playhard will also be chased down the river. Or rather, DJ will be chased by Playhard. The toss is there onto Skem, but it looks like he is not within range to throw the stun out. He does not have any more swaps available. With that, they do manage to get that mid-tier 1 tower for Neon Esports.
That's going to give them so much more control on the map. They can start hunting down in the triangle, maybe pop some deeper wards here as well, and just start to prevent Fnatic from trying to flash farm. Really early committal from Fnatic to start jumping in. I mean, I get that IO drought is strong. They did dive a bit too far back. Gonna have to watch where they do come in, watch their angles and positioning. Perhaps just wait for the sags. Masaros is so close. Didn't need to force a fight right then and there. Just 600 gold off, and once you have that on the CK, again, it's going to be a massive spike for Masaros. You can play around the added illusions quite nicely once that's up. And that should allow them to really start running around, right? Like, our Drow is already fairly farmed up. Dragon Lance plus 4 staff there for protection. The Hurricane Pike upgrade already flying in as well. So you do have a good amount here in Raven. He is starting to fall behind compared to Natsumi, but that is to be expected when you have 2 Midases to play with, along with superior split push. So I think while the gap isn't too wide, this is the moment when Fnatic really needs to start to find more objectives on the map.
They're currently just waiting for that Masteros Ags. Needs 200 more gold. He's gonna be able to get it very soon. Big smoke up though, Neon. Looking to make the plays. Do go into the dire triangle, but nobody is gonna be around.
Oh. Now, I was wondering about this a while ago.
Uh-oh, they've looped around John. Jabs, he's going to get spotted. Raven gets stunned up as well. Now Yopaj gets in with a great avalanche toss. Raven's trying to run away. They don't have the damage yet. Raven, he's out of Risk's way, but Januel, he's going to pop the Flesh Golem. Playhard did go down. They do also drop the Tombstone. That'll pretty much be it. Very explosive set of events in that mid lane. Of course, Jabs will also buy back.
Fnatic.
Well, they're smoking up. They want to have a go at this. Playhard is about to respawn, and Yopaj might actually break this smoke. They still continue moving towards the northeast, or rather west of the map. Newell going to TP out. And they are going to find nothing for their trouble.
Yeah, the really good scan at the end to ensure that they TP home as well. So Neon, despite that one loss in Playhard, they are starting to really pull ahead here. 13-6, but a 3k lead up on Neon Sand. Want to point out something as well. I was wondering about why it felt like Neon had a few too many neutral items. They did that faded brooch they had on hand that passed hands from Yopaj and from Playhard was actually from Fnatic. So,
ouch.
they got
Jabs.
freaky. Brooch as well, jeez.
Jab's been caught out here. He already committed the tether, but Raven will save his life with a gust out. And now the stomp is going to land. Earthsplitter is there. There is your Masteros Axe flying out on Yopaj. Going to go down. This is the part where things get very scary for Neon Esports. These illusions, they are very hard to deal with. Just run them down mid. Send the whole army in.
And they've still got a lot of push here on Fnatic's end. Again, they're just trying to maximize this Lush. Finally finding that mid, but the Fortify is going to stall. They don't have much time in those illusions.
Diabolic Edict making it easy, however, Tombstone drop, they do jump in, Januel with the Flesh Golem, trying to go after this Flesh Rack, but Jab's trying to relocate him out, Moon, he is almost there, he wants to turn around, they get him out at the right time. Playhard, he's the one to go down, but now Masaros is in trouble, they swap out Raven actually trying to get him as well. They will kill off Masaros. Raven will be fine to just run away. Overall, not too bad here as they even find Jabs trying to TP out Neon Esports. A 2-for-1 trade, and once again, they defend that mid-tier 1 tower.
It's not a good showing for Fnatic. They've got this lineup that is supposed to melt these towers. They can't even commit for that mid-tier 1. A lot of commitment from Neon to save it. They do go into the Roche next, and I believe that was... No, it's not spotted by the ward as well, so good movement at the night time. It is day now, and the moment they peek out, the ward does spot them, but movement from Fnatic's a bit too slow. They will have Phantasm up for the next fight. Looks like the Roche is a bit too tanky for them to handle, though.
And it is. Just backs off for a bit. Natsumi is getting a bit out of control now with this net worth, John. Sitting at 12.5k. Kind of intrigued as well he went for the Blade Mail pickup, but, you know, I guess why not? With the Tempest double, you can still use it. So,
yeah,
I suppose it makes some sense.
We see that a lot up against Leshrax, just getting a casual Blade Mail to have him burn himself. It can be effective, and I think there's some value here for Natsumi. Yep.
If you're standing next to the Tempest double, like you've got the real Arc Warden plus a Tempest double right next to each other, and you pop both Blade Mails on each one with a Leshrac using Pulse Nova next to it, does that mean the Pulse Nova damage is being reflected twice?
Yep, should be. They're both separate sources, yeah. Should count that way, which is why it's pretty fun for Natsumi to do this. I'm not sure if he's really going to want to walk up to the Lesh and tempt Fate that way, but it's a possibility. You can see Moon, he did go for the Ags Rush. Doesn't have a BKB, so that damage is going to reflect back fully.
Play hard, looking for a jump in, does get DJ on that Auto Titan. They will use the illusions out from Masaros. They do get Skim. A 1-for-1 so far, but now Masaros going to be in danger as he tries to run away. A lot of damage coming in from Natsumi's Tempest double, but now the Earth Splitter does come out. Back onto Play Hard, Raven's joined in. Onto the Slaughter, he's getting low, but Yapar's trying to help out. Now he might be in danger, trying to run into the bubble, but it will not be enough. Fnatic, they're holding the high ground. Back into Play Hard, the Slaughter does go down. They even found the Tempest double in the middle of all this as Januel has been left behind, and he will be the 4th one to go down. The only survivor is going to be Natsumi, and he will just get back to farming. As Fnatic, they will go into the Roshan pit.
And this is going to be a really smooth Rosh for them to take. First Roshan of the game, so that's just going to be Aegis, but that's going to be a huge boost for them, especially on Moon. So he's going to be able to maximize that second life. Perhaps now they can commit for that mid-tier 1. No Fortify out from Neon, so it should just fall, as they do manage to turn that lead back. Neon still ahead by just 1k. You are seeing the rest of their core start to lag behind. This is starting to become the Natsumi show on that Arc Warden. He's the only one ahead now, and all of that network is riding on him. Scam started to fall behind. Yopaj as well, past the blink, has not been able to progress too much. So they need Natsumi to start to deliver the goods here, and for the most part, he is building up, but it's not to the point where the Arc Warden's unstoppable.
Masaros, with this. Right behind Natsumi. Play Hard is going to be there now. I don't think Masaros saw that, but it won't matter. It doesn't matter, because it's CK Ags, John. They say Sven Ags is broken.
You gotta love it, Masaros with a sneaky play. Managing to make it work, and, well, we were just talking about Natsumi. Got a bit cursed there. It's going to set him back by an amount. He's only 1k above Raven, not a huge lead. And Fnatic now can run the full force of their push strat. Going for that tier 2 bot, no defense coming through. It's just going to melt, and there's not much Neon can really do. They don't have any objectives to chase down themselves. Their main farmer is gone, so all of these heroes farming up now aren't the most important in terms of scaling. This is just setting them back by a whole bunch.
And it is. We'll try and play the long game here, Neon Esports.
Scanning for enemies.
Smoke up. What they found now, it's going to be Yopaj. Big pick off to get. Masteros once again setting up with his team. I just this CK Ags, it is so stupid. He didn't use it that time, but it's besides the point. It just, this hero is just too darn strong.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It's pretty ridiculous if your draft isn't set up to deal with illusions, and it tends to just slide right through. Right now, Neon, the only way they have of dealing with that is their Arc Warden. Natsumi is just not enough yet, and they lose more.
Well, Play Hard is going to go down.
Radiant's top tower is no more.
Very nice pick off there from Moon, and it looks like they want to try and make the top tier 2 tower push. Maybe even the mid tier 2. But now they'll just control that Radiant triangle. Suppose you always have this Arc Warden to fall back on. It's not a... You know, you've got a way of holding on, which is always going to be nice. Fnatic, they are looking very dangerous as time goes on.
Yeah, they are finding their item timings well. My biggest issue right now with the Arc Warden is, again, its lead is just not big enough to justify how much lower everyone else is. Like, the Venge and Tyne are just lagging so far behind. It's not
Manuel,
worthwhile.
going to be targeted here. There's that Aghanim Scepter. Ulti coming out. Masteros just blows up one. They're trying to go after the CK, but the stomp was amazing from their Elder Titan DJ. Now back onto Yopaj. DJ's falling low. The multi-shot out from Raven does take care of the Tiny. Now the swap in. Natsumi in a spot of danger. In fact, it was Skem that goes down on the Venge. Moon, meanwhile, getting very low, but Natsumi will lose the Tempest Double. Still trying to go after the Leshrac. The stun in from Play Hard. They'll get the Aegis. Back to Raven, or maybe even Jabs, who's trying to go for a relocate, getting Moon out of there, and he does. The swap will not be good enough, and now Moon moving back in, going straight in there. But oh, Moon, he's just going to get blown up.
What?
A bit overly confident there, Moon, and now Play Hard going to go for the double stun out, killing off Raven and killing off DJ.
What? I don't get it. Jab saves him, and a bit of a misplay, jumping too far forward. Lose 4 heroes for that still. That did force 2 buybacks out from Neon, so it's not a very smooth ride for them either. You still see a 2k lead up on Fnatic. They're feeling quite fine. Probably not the best way to lose the Aegis. They still somewhat find something, but Neon, do you sense an opportunity? Natsumi's starting to build up a bit more. He lived through all of that. His lead is still like a steady 1k over Raven, which is, again, not amazing, but it is something to work with. Gonna melt that tier 2 mid, and that's gonna be a nice objective to take as Fnatic can't defend.
No, they cannot. Here come those tier 3 items, John. Do we see a telescope out for Skem?
Oh, come on.
Not yet.
2 out of 4.
Spider Legs and Repair Kit is there. Give him the telescope. Let's see the brilliance of this hero that is Arc Warden.
Oh,
Mind you-
I've got to ping this tip. It's always evolving. New
Dota
features
2's
are added. New heroes are introduced. Existing heroes and mechanics may see adjustments.
Keep up with the latest changes at Dota 2 blog. Now, you seem to be saying that very sarcastically, sir. Is there something you wanted to say?
No, I think it speaks for itself.
When was the last patch, by the way, for Dota 2?
I can't even remember. Was it July? Was it? No, maybe it's a bit sooner.
Well,
I guess you could say update patch. I'm not sure anymore. I forget.
You know what we can check, John? We can go to the Dota 2 blog, as the tip
That's
says,
true.
and we can see
That's
all
true.
the updates that have come out.
That is very true.
All jokes aside, though, the update is set to come out probably midway through this BTS Pro Series Season 4, so it's going to be rather interesting to see what happens when we're in the middle of the playoffs and there's a new patch that just drops. And it's like,
Yeah.
sorry, boys, you just got to deal with it. Too bad if you were coming first in the groups. We're in the playoffs now.
Oh.
Everything changes.
That's how it goes. That's how it always goes. We'll have to see what those changes are, and it's gonna be an exciting time when it does come out. Still, what's more exciting is that we have the go-ahead. The gap between Fnatic and Neon again dropping down to just 1k. Tier 2 mid being taken out does help even that out. They do jump down though.
Yeah, bot lane, they found Moon out on the Leshrac. And that is going to be a nice big pick-off unless a relocate
Leave
comes in.
me.
And now Masros coming in from the side. There goes my frames, but it won't matter. Play hard. Does go down. And Moon will survive. They find any more. Oh, a telescope found for the Drow.
Oh.
But did Skem
So
find one?
did they yet? No, I can quickly check. No, they haven't found their fourth drop yet. They
Uh-oh.
did get a craggy coat. Come on. Get a telescope as well. You need to. Balance it out.
Tower is under attack.
Both sides have repair kits, Mike. That's good news.
This game wasn't going to last long enough, John. Get the repair kits in there, make sure. Natsumi just doing Arc Warden things, pushing out that top lane.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, wait. Quickening Charm on Masaru, so cooldown of 65.3 now in Phantasm. Isn't that nice? Every minute your PC crashes. It's amazing.
Tower is under attack.
I like it. Why the hell not? Maybe when tier 4 items come, John, he'll get a spell prism. It's just kind of escalated a bit, you know?
I don't know if this is balanced for Natsumi, Mike, but they didn't get the telescope. They did get an Orb of Destruction.
Oh!
So I guess that's actually a little bit better for Natsumi. Not as dank, but it is better in terms of melting these objectives. So gonna be a good time for Arc Warden in terms of the split push. Still gonna have to wait for his Scotty to fly in. I believe it's just done. There it is. So Scotty up and Natsumi can start to melt heroes, widening the gap between him and Raven to 2k, but Raven also gets the same timing on his Scotty, so not too bad here for Fnatic.
Oh, nice and even. Top lane does eventually go down. Natsumi just going to keep the pushing up. Oh, there goes that ulti again from Masaros. But play hard. you just saw two of the wrongest things in this game. Like, play hard can just have like 600 movement speed on the river, and meanwhile the other guy can just spawn illusions everywhere, globally, just because.
Perfectly balanced. The good thing for Masaros, he does have that quickening charm, so Phantasm's gonna be up in 40. It doesn't matter if he
Oh,
doesn't
good.
find anything
Under attack.
as well. Yeah, just gonna not gonna lose too much. They are starting to focus around that jungle. Not too much pressure. It's back to that stalemate of farming. Although there is a smoke here from Neon.
Here we go.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
I guess with the Phantasm illusions down for another 15 seconds, they feel like they've got an opening, but it really is only like 15 seconds. Make it 10 now. And they're not going to find the opportunity they were looking for. It is still just a 2k net worth lead between net worth difference between these two, so still a very close game. Smoke up. Masaros just gonna jump straight in onto Januel, and he's gone. See you later. Yopaj getting caught out by Moon with the Yule Scepter, has been stunned up, and stuns fly out from Masaros. It's like a Phantom Lancer, John. Masaros just cosplaying right now.
Yeah, it's true. And got a bigger army that hits a bit harder as well. So Masaro's just doing perfectly fine. 2 years deleted. Can we talk about the uptime on these Phantasm illusions? So 30-second duration, 65.3 cooldown with the quickening charm. That's like 50% uptime or downtime. 50% downtime. That's insane. It's
Seems
just
very
half the
balanced.
time it's up.
Seems very balanced, John. I don't see the problem here. Why is it
great.
100% uptime?
And that's true. Just always have it. Just crash the PC, spam press R like you've got sheets on.
With
You
that,
got AC up as well.
yeah,
So you're
I
just
mean,
gonna melt them.
Illusions attack faster now. Very nice. Thing seems good here. Into the Roshan. Look at this. I mean, look at this. This is meant to be like a very scary kind of beast in the Dota world, right? They literally have an event called Dietide about Roshan right now, and he just gets deleted like that. Neon,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to fight into them right now. They will get the swap off. It looks like they have found the IO. Jab's in trouble, but Moon coming in, killing off Playhard, and now Masaros onto Skem. They've also got Yopaj there. Skem's gone. Yopaj will be next. He does also die. They get the Temper Stubble, and they get Januel. And there is only really Natsumi left, along with Playhard, who just bought back. Off to the Tier 2 top tower they go.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard defense for Neon. Now they can play with Natsumi, of course. It's an Arc Warden, can shove out waves really well. Issue is he's again doesn't have a significant lead over the route. 3K is a bit better, but 3K at 33 minutes in isn't as massive as you'd want it to be. Natsumi's doing a decent job though, holding off the top push at the least, but there's only so much you can do here.
Here we go again.
Phantasm's back up.
Moon just jumps in. Oh, he gets done up though. Playhard, they might be able to turn this one around with Natsumi, but the multi-shot is going to be there from Raven, and that will zone them out. And in we go. Tier 3 tower gone. They do have the bubble, however, and a repair kit, so they defend. In fact, they'll go back in, but Yopaj is unable to get the toss back. Masaros going to jump in onto the Temper Stubble of the Arc Warden, and eventually they will get through it. But they have successfully defended this this top lane of Barracks.
Yep, they hold on. The deficit grows wider though, Mike. It's 14k up now for Fnatic, 20 to 25. Now it really becomes the Arc Warden game. Natsumi has to do so much for his team here. You look how far behind Yopaj and Skem are. They're at 10 and 11k each. Masaros is at 15, for example. So they're already really far behind in these other cores. It's all down to our Arc Warden to find that space out. But Fnatic are not resting. They smoke up. They've got Phantasm ready to go again.
Oh, Moon might be in danger. Do they have enough? Moon gonna pop the BKB. He's gonna try and chase down somebody. Play hard. Also there, gonna blink away. Masaros and Moon having a look around. The Split Earth is actually going to land and cancel the TP off, but Yopaj jumps back in after the Leshrac, and they will get the Aegis. Jabs now spotting them out, so Masaros can go for the rift back onto Playhard, and Playhard will die. Into Yopaj, who is still around the area, but a relocate back up towards the top lane where they are going to find Skem. Skem is going to try and fight this out, but there is no chance. Absolutely zero chance to fight into that.
No, you can't. Not when that PC buster is popped. Neon lose 2 heroes. Not going to help their cause in the defense. Now, they do have a good shove down mid. There is a creep wave with 2 siege creeps hitting the tier 3, so they are getting a little bit of that split pushing effect, but it's just not going to be enough to hold off for too long here.
Natsumi lose a Temper Stubble again, it looks like. Raven will take that one for himself, and back to that tier 3 tower they go. So eventually get down. They go into the barracks now. The repair kit is going to be there. Masaros, rift up, just on the Temper Stubble. The Rack's gone down to that bot lane, but Yopaj trying to go back in, so instead they'll go back around onto him, and they do get the kill on the Tiny. Now have they found another? Not quite. But they do go into the mid lane. This tier 3 just gets destroyed, and no repair kit or no repair kit, it doesn't matter. There's too much damage. They get rid of the racks now. Yopaj, he's brought back along with Januel, but isn't going to matter at all. Skem is going to get taken down. Jabs with a great relocate out onto Masaros. They do get the mid-melee barracks as well, but Playhard does jump in for a double stun, and Yopaj gets a toss back onto Raven. Where's the follow-up damage though? Jabs keeping him alive. Magnetic field drop, but it's not going to matter as Masaros now turning back around. Playhard and Skem both going to go down. Those were some diebacks coming out. Januel trying to run away. He will be able to, but his buildings cannot do the same. Although Yopaj, again, another toss back onto Raven. They're trying to get this round down, but Jabs just keeps him alive the whole time. They can't get through him, and now Masaros back onto Yopaj. It looks like this Tiny is probably just going to die here as the Phantasm comes down. Januel trying to run, everything just flying at him, and they will call the GG.
Whew.
Disgusting stuff.
Yeah, that's hey, come on. At the least, Arc Warden did lose, and I
True.
think you would favor that. Still, Fnatic managing to ride through. It looked a bit rough earlier on. They were trading blows a bit. There were some good moments coming out here for Neon. In the end, they placed all their eggs in one basket. Natsumi could not lift that burden by himself. You saw Scam and Yopaj really fall behind, but they did have some shining moments. Yopaj, especially early on, was making a lot of plays in the Tiny. They just lose out in the mid game. Masaros was just allowed to really farm up. Something they have to keep an eye out on. You know, we were talking about this when Masaros was on MG Trust as well. He is a big part of how MG Trust then and Fnatic now managed to get that space out. And if you don't respect that offlane coming out from Fnatic, it will come and haunt you at the end of the game.
Well, with that, John, that was game number 1, and it was a relatively close game until that CK Ags came around. So let's see how game number 2 goes between Neon Esports and Fnatic. It is, of course, MLP Dota and John X Fire, and we'll see you back again in about 10 minutes for our second game. We'll see you soon. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, Mike. First game was pretty exciting. We saw Natsumi go back to his Arc Warden. Didn't quite pan out. Fnatic did have a wonderful time there. Bring out the Masaru CK. Did deliver with his Ags timing. Really went fantastically there. We'll see if Neon will shake up the playstyle a bit. It did feel a bit slow. They placed all their eggs in one basket. Yopaj was off to a running start on his Tiny, but they could never maximize it. And we'll see if they do correct that. Also, if they get something more impactful for Skem, like he went for the off-lane Venge, but couldn't really do much. Their team fight was lacking. It was all down to Yopaj jumping in, but he fell behind, so just a lot of pressure on Natsumi, and that it just couldn't happen on the Arc Warden there.
No, it could not. See if they can switch things around a bit and make a bit more happen with this new draft that's upon us. And Neon Esports, they are going to start off with the Elder Titan, and we've been seeing a lot more of this hero popping up as of late. They have left things like the Leshrac still there, as well as the CK, by the way, is also still available if Fnatic wanted to get things started. In fact, there's so many heroes that are currently available. The Sven, the Io. There it is. There's your Sven, and I don't think Neon Esports are necessarily allowed to leave the IO in the pool now.
No, you don't want to deal with Sven Io. Sustain's ridiculous. I don't know if Neon would want to pick up the Io themselves, though. That's the big issue here. You show the ET, it's got some flex. Once you show the IO, you're not going to have too much flex in that duo anymore. We're going to have to see what Neon wants to do, though. But Fnatic, Sven starter, always nice to see. No flexibility in that. It's just going to be straight up their core. Raven's going to be playing that hero. Wondering if they want to just slide the Masters here straight up if they wanted to, if they were confident. But we see Neon go into the Void first. So it's the Void versus Sven that has a lot of back and forth. Now I'm actually wanting Fnatic to just go with the Masters Tide. Like, it's going to be pretty weird going for your two cores in that first phase, but Ravage against Chrono is always makes it awkward for the Faces Void to think about that Chrono placement.
It does. Still, with the Void, at least you do have that bash damage, which is going to be magical up against the Sven. Very effective stuff. Only problem being is now you've got an IO on the side of Fnatic, which means that you're going to have to be especially careful with these Chronos, as you are always going to have the ability to try and relocate out someone of the Chronos. Not to mention, of course, you can just tether and overpower, and you do have a lot of that damage being reduced within the Chrono. A very strong opening for Fnatic, and if there's one kind of duo that's really been shown off in this current patch, it is the Sven Io, and it does scare me quite a lot for Neon Esports what they've gotten themselves into here with this draft.
Definitely, it's a solid opener. I like that Neon at least bans out the Masaro's Tide, because that's the sensible play. You don't want him to have that hero. What more is there to be said, right? Sven Io comes out, Neon, I mean, they've got this ET Void, so Chrono comes out, the split comes out, it's really nice. Doesn't feel like it's nice enough. They're going to need a little bit more on the Chrono. Need something to stop the sustain coming out from the IO. Maybe some instantaneous burst will help them on hand. I'd say Alina 5 or 4 would help them out, but it's pretty awkward running ET Lina together. Unless they kind of, again, flex the ET as a core for Scam. Could be possible, but not very common for the ET. Gonna have to see how the draft evolves for them. Fnatic, they do ban out the Phoenix and Invoker. These are, fairly straightforward Faces Void combinations with the Cataclysm and the Egg in the back. So taking out those options for Neon to build up on this Void pickup. Neon, again, for their part, have banned out the Lesh and the Tide. No options for Ravage into Chrono. No options for the building melting coming out from Moon. And they take out the Timber Saw as well for safety, as that is one way to rip through the Void early on. Just kind of take his strength away and constantly force him to Time Walk out. That cooldown and Time Walk in the laning phase is not very fun. And even down the line, it's got window vulnerability that you can abuse on the Void.
That certainly does. Fnatic, their last ban out now. They might have a little bit of a think about it. Just getting rid of kind of all positions here with their bans. See the Invoker and even the Phoenix being removed here. Suppose just things that combo well with the Void, they don't want to really have to play against. You don't necessarily want to get just blown up in that Chrono, and looks like they'll even get rid of the Lina. With that, Fnatic straight into the Moon Storm Spirit. So, looking stronger and stronger as time goes on here for Fnatic. And it's going to mean Neon have a lot of kind of targets to go for with this Chrono here from this Void. It's going to be a very tough game for Natsumi, I think.
10 seconds.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of pressure in landing that Chrono. Could be that Neon maybe goes for the sneaky Schem faces Void with Natsumi getting something else. So they'll be focusing on using the Void just for the team fight and kind of make it so that he doesn't need to focus on farm to relieve Natsumi of some of that pressure. It's a possibility. We haven't seen teams outside of, again, old MG Trust was the one that did that with Masaros and Jackie. I'm not sure if Schem is going to be opting for that in Neon. We'll find out. Fnatic for their part. Storm comes in. The control right now in Neon, not good. It's only Chrono that can really lock in the Storm. The stomp from the ET is not reliable enough unless her Storm runs out of mana, which for the most part, you shouldn't really count in your initiation on the fact that the enemy has no mana. It's not the way to do it. Still, Neon do take something to help deal with the Storm Spirit. Nyx does come out. That's one way to kind of keep him pinned down. Spike Carapace is going to be really useful here. Impaled's pretty darn good as well. And the mana burn is pretty sick against the Storm. Carapace also helps you control the Sven, right? You don't even need to be directly hit. Just getting the splash damage of the Sven, which is fairly common. You're going to be able to hold him down in the middle of a fight. So that's one way to break the combo Fnatic off. It's a decent Nyx pickup. Doesn't do much in the Chrono, though. That is one thing to consider. And it does kind of leave it flexible for Neon, whether or not they want to run the Nyx core. We've seen once or twice now on off. More than likely going to be support, as we tend to see. But you do have some justification for a core Nyx if you wanted to.
I suppose so. I mean, it's Nyx Assassin, John. I'm just not sure what to think about it sometimes, this hero. But I imagine this is one of those heroes that is expecting to get a little bit buffed up in the next patch. So, you know, for all you Nyx Assassin players out there, never fret. I'm sure the Frog is out there watching very carefully as to how this hero's performance has been as of late. Has been rather abysmal, John, I might add.
Yeah.
Probably, you know, all the bugs really deserve a buff actually in the game. You know who I'm really looking forward to getting buffed? Sand King.
No.
Sand King needs a buff.
He's terrible. He's just been so bad for so long. I mean, the only time I see Sand King being okay is like a Void. So you just epicenter into the Chrono. That's the only time it kind of seems good. Otherwise, it really falls flat. Still Fnatic. Take the Tusk. So Io Tusk, support duo. Neon pick up the Quap in exchange. So more than likely looking at the Yapaj Quap. It's been a while since we've seen that one pop in, but it does make its way out here. Decent laner against the Storm. So Moon's going to have to work a little bit harder to even out that lane. But Fnatic does have really good rotation potential with Tusk. So they've got options to run around, maybe pressure around lanes as well. Can be nice. And they have a way of saving heroes in case they do get, say, stunned up by Nyx. Not going to help too much in the Chrono unless you get shards to block the Void. But the snowball save is going to be there to at least break off the Nyx initiation for a bit.
Absolutely. Final banouts now to come. It seems both teams are just focusing in on the offlane pickups, as it does appear both teams have left the offlane picks till their last picks. The Beastmaster and Batrider both being removed for now. Well, for Neon, of course, you just want to make sure that there's nothing that can lock down the Void or Queen of Pain too easily. For Fnatic, I imagine they'll just make sure that they've kind of focused on making sure that the jabs on the IO can't get picked off too easily either. But we'll wait for this last ban from Neon. It's a funny thing, John, as well. It seems as though it's this time of the night where your camera starts to struggle a bit with the internet, but what can you do?
Yeah, not sure what I can do. This is better than PLDC. But apparently Globe's not that much better. So both companies do suck. Just throwing that out there. They're terrible. I'm just waiting for that third ISP to come out.
When
Hopefully
is that, by the way? You said it was like...
They've got cell towers up. I'm not sure about wiring. I believe we did see like a bunch of trucks going around wiring up fiber. So maybe soon, but they haven't officially launched service. I know they've got like sample sims out to test their 5G coverage.
Nice.
Or at least the 4G coverage out. So it's rolling out slowly. I'd expect maybe a year plus, probably 2 years, considering how slow stuff moves sometimes. But it's coming soon at least. But yeah, like this is supposed to be 100 Mbps up and down, and speed test says it's that way, but it never feels that way sometimes. Is what it is, right? I mean, you've got teams that dropped out of qualifiers because of our internet, so
I do
It's,
bring it up
it's rough.
for the sake of reminding you, John, that apparently my internet is getting upgraded to 1 GB speed. So
Wow,
yep,
look at that NBN.
yes sir, it's happened. Australia is going to have one of the fastest internets in the world. Can you believe that? What a timeline we're
No.
living in. They laughed at us, John. They used to laugh at us, but now we're the ones laughing.
If it does properly roll out, you got to watch that, Mike. You know?
Yeah, I know.
The NBN was supposed to be fast as well. Remember?
Yeah,
When it launched, right?
that is true. I actually have a friend that does work in the company that kind of installs all the lines and stuff, and I got to tell you, they're not very trustworthy people. So I don't have the highest hopes. Let me tell you, it's very shady stuff going on over here. Still, Neon Esports final pickup. Looks like they are going to go after the Magnus pick. That's a Yopaj special, John. The Magnus to pop out. However, they already have the Quap, so if they were to run the Mag mid, then the Quap's going to have to be in the off lane. So maybe just run the offlane Mag instead, or maybe run the support Magnus that we've been seeing a lot in Europe.
Yep, and I don't know how to feel about support Mag with, say, support ET or support Nyx. It sounds really strange as a duo. Fnatic do get the Night Stalkers. That's one more way to jump into the back, stop the Void from getting his spells out. It does look like they will stick to the Yopaj Quap. The Quap Arcana. Haven't seen it in a while, Mike. I remember when we were casting, BTS Pro Series Season 2 or Season 3? No, Season 2, right? When the Quap Arcana was all the hot stuff. And it's been a while, but it does come back in. Scam is going to be on the offlane Mag. It is.
It is the best
It is.
Arcana
As you
in the
like to
game.
point out, yeah, best for you. Still think Wind Ranger is nice.
Just look at it, ladies. What a great Arcana Yopaj has right there. That's all you want in an Arcana. Who cares about the anti-mage persona? That was garbage. Everyone knows that. The Wind Ranger Arcana. If you like losing MMR, sure. Why not?
Oh, bless you, Mike. Still, we'll see what Yopaj does. I mean, he had an amazing tiny game early on, right? Like, the plays he did in that top jungle was just ridiculous. Hopefully, he can get that same performance in the Quap. We'll see if he can deliver. Is laning up against Moon's Storm, so not the hardest lane for a Quap. I'd say earlier on, you should have a better time trading. Overload spam is going to be annoying, though. It's something to watch out for. But Yopaj, when it comes down to power runes, just having a value point in Blink does mean Yopaj should be able to run to those runes earlier on, at least in the first spike. So that's going to give him a slight advantage in topping up the bottle, perhaps. We're going to have to see how much Neon can maximize this play hard Nyx assassin as well. You pointed out, but it has faded out of the scene. I'm someone that plays a lot of Nyx before. I'd say it's in a weird spot where you can pick it up against certain heroes, and in this case, the Storm does justify play hard going for the Nyx, but it's also in a very awkward spot, and we're gonna have to see just how far they can push it. Fnatic, for their part, I mean, Sven, if you could simplify the game any further, I'd love to see you try, but this is a straightforward draft from them. They know what they want to do here, and they should understand the timings they want to hit.
Absolutely. Of course, just found out Vice Esports made a Twitter page, John. Vice Esports PH is the Twitter handle. Anyone wanted to go give them a follow? Yeah. I think Beyond the Summit's Twitter just kind of retweeted their Twitter, so go check them out. Maybe drop them a follow. Been performing very nicely as of late. Love to see it.
Oh, plus, yeah. Fantastic. We'll see if they do get, dank social media posts. I love seeing the social media fellas go really dank. Neon kind of gets there. I think if you actually follow Motivate Trust's page, they've got some amazing pictures of the players sometimes. It's ridiculous. Like when they lose a series, they've got like Fearless crying into tissue. It's amazing. It's actually fantastic to watch.
Update on that, by the way, John. They haven't followed us on Twitter, so forget everything I said. Just
Oh, Mike. It's not about the numbers, Mike. It's about what you do with those numbers, okay?
That's what my wife tells me, John. Never makes me feel any better.
Still, not too much excitement around these bounty runes first. A bit of a scuffle, maybe Skem just cutting some trees, showing off to Raven, but not going to look for any of that early first blood. Look at these wards coming out from Neon, though. Defensive on their high ground, and one onto the jungle high ground as well. So they've got good coverage over any movement that Fnatic might want to get out. This should help Yapaj have a smooth start in this mid lane. Just having that much more information does help you solidify your position.
That it does. Bit of a scuffle up at that top lane. Play hard, copped a bit of damage, but has plenty of regen with this Nyx Assassin. He'll be alright. Astral Spirit to fly through as well, getting a bit of a nice damage out for this Elder Titan early on. Where the hell is this thing going? Oh, he's TP'd all the way down to the bot lane. So this Spirit is going to come down, but unfortunately for Fnatic, poor old DJ and Masros are going to have to put up with it. Whereas, there it is. Even gets Masros on the way in. But Genuel might be punished anyways. They do come in with the tag team, but the creeps are going to block the pathing. Fnatic will not be able to try and complete that kill attempt. And to have a TP out from Jabs is Genuel. He's going to have a look for a courier. So he is going to be able to get it. Very nice. That was DJ's salve going down.
It's going to offset a lot of that region. They do have tag team, though, so you've got to be careful here.
Genuel definitely in trouble. Doesn't look like it's going to be quite enough, but they do go through a lot of regen here with Genuel, and he's forced to salve up, keep himself healthy for this laning stage. Still, we'll have a look at the other lanes quickly. Of course, mid lane, Yapaj is on the beautiful Queen of Pain. He will be up again. What is it, John? I can't call her beautiful now?
No, you can. I love that you just always have to reassure yourself of that.
That's my queen there, John. You take it easy when you're talking about her. Of course, Moon is going to be up against Yapaj on the Storm Spirit, so should be a fairly even match between the two. Of course, Yapaj has to be slightly careful about that level 3 timing, which Moon has right now, so he can skill up the Vortex to try and go for a kill, but it looks like Moon is going to hold on to that skill point for a later stage. And in fact, never mind, he does go for the added level in the passive. So no Vortex for Moon.
Ooh, DJ. Oh, DJ. Shards his way down. He was looking in trouble. He got bashed twice in a row, but he's fine. Like, just those shards patting down again. DJ showing us why, he's one of the best Tusks back then. It's been a while since we've seen it.
It is. I'm sure he is still one of the best, John. We'll find out as the game goes on. Of course, up at the top lane, you do have Jabs along with his best friend, Raven. Raven has a pumpkin on his head right now. Very, very nice. They are going to be up against Skem on the mag, and of course, Playhard, who is apparently currently chasing a courier, and is going to be able to secure it as well. Very nice from Playhard. He almost dies to the tier 2 tower, however, and is forced to salve up on his way out.
That's a dicey spot. You're still going to be happy about taking that out, but he loses his own career. It's not a worthwhile trade, and now Skem.
Yeah, Skem's going to be in trouble. That's a bit of karma for you. Shockwave going to fly through. Skem just trying to secure some creeps for himself. Playhard's going to come back in as well. Nobody's going to die, though. Everyone's going to be very, very healthy as they do walk off. Skem will salve himself up just in case.
Yeah, it's going to be a steady lane. It's really hard to shove out a Sven Io. They're just so tanky, and they're going to try, but the Raven's still fairly healthy here.
They are. Back towards that mid lane, Yapaj having a really nice time, I might add, John. 19-6, comparison to the 15-6 of Moon. It's kind of to be expected when you are playing the Queen of Pain that you will kind of get ahead in terms of CS, considering she is such a lane-dominant kind of hero. Play hard. He's going to impel Jabs for a second there on the IO as he does come back into Moon, but it's like everything's going to be just fine. Still no kills being found.
No, just really defensive plays from both sides. They do have fairly tanky heroes as well, for the most part, so not going for any big exchange. You are winning out in farm, just slightly on Fnatic's end. But in terms of last hits, you are seeing Neon just pull slightly ahead. So very even start. No one taking any massive risks. That might change come first night, but you don't tend to see Night Stalkers really emphasize that first night anymore, beyond just farming as well. So it might be a bit slower until we see some level spikes in a couple of these heroes.
Moon very low again here on this Storm. It's going to be okay, though. He's just trying to farm up some neutrals. Jabs had to leave him be for a bit as he did want to go stack some camps up for him. DJ trying to fight over the bounty runes down at the bot lane. Does manage to take it away from Natsumi, but now the bashes are coming out to Masros, but Moon is around to join. Shards do come out. Masros still being bashed up by Natsumi. Vortex will be there on Januel, and that'll be the first blood finally coming out at the 5-minute mark. Moon will be the one to take it on the Storm. He will be more than happy with that.
Yeah, and that does cost them 4 heroes down bot to secure, but it's a very worthwhile rotation. It comes out to the most important hero on the map in terms of getting that snowball start. Moon gonna offset his slower laning with that kill. And the beauty of having the Sven top up against the Magnus is you don't need to worry about leaving Raven alone. He's still having a good time against Scam, not under any threat of dying unless he missteps. But he's already got his Morbid Mass as well to soak up some HP back. So you're fairly fine being aggressive early on, just getting your supports out of that lane already.
Oh, top lane, Raven.
Ooh.
Gonna get caught out, play hard. Having some influence on this Nyx Assassin now, feeling very good about that. Raven not going to enjoy dying, but he was left alone for quite a while, and I suppose eventually this was kind of bound to happen. Skem, of course, on the Magnus, having a great old time in this laning phase. Now top of the CS board in the mag.
Yeah, they've not really slowed down Scam. Raven was looking fairly safe. Probably didn't expect a rotation out from Playhard. So it does get punished. Jabs is around now. Maybe they're going to try to clear out these stacks while it is pulled. But Scam does have 6.
Oh, Impale is out. Onto Raven again. Gets hit by the shockwave. Scam looking for an RP, but the Stormhammer is going to fly in. Still, Yopaj going to come in now onto Jabs. Oh, but a nice tether out. Yopaj, he's going to pretend he was just farming that creep wave. This was all on purpose. He'll eventually back off. A great tether out from Jabs, though, to juke out that Sonic Wave, but Playhard is still going to have a look for this IO. He has been left alone, but another dodge out from Jabs with the tether, and now the TP away. Great tether plays out from Jabs, and he denies them. Kills twice.
It's a lot of time being wasted by Neon and maintaining that presence up top. They are clearing out some stacks, though. So it's not a complete loss of time, but you still are getting some farm here onto Raven. They can't really punish, as Fnatic has a lot of emphasis in keeping that safe. They do have these deep wards from Neon's end, so they're going to be aware of that movement, but they're just not able to capitalize. Really even game regardless, though. Still a slight 1k lead coming out on Fnatic. Raven now getting the remnants of his stack, should be able to go into his Mask of Madness soon, and once that up, our Sven's farm will start to kick up here, and you compare that to how a Void farms, it is a bit faster. However, Natsumi does have Empower to play with, so he can actually clear stacks fairly well, and that's something Fnatic has left alone. Natsumi's just free farming his own stats.
It's definitely good news for Natsumi. Mid lane. Now looking to DJ and Moon. Play hard, going to be in danger now as the Vortex does come in with a snowball follow-up, but they don't have enough damage. That means that Play hard, he's going to try and get some wards down, but that is going to be de-warded pretty quick, or maybe not. They know the Observer Ward's up there. Yopaj going to come in and he'll take it out. Still a very conservative game between these two teams. Only 1-1 at almost 9 minutes into the game. I suppose with these drafts, you are kind of just farming up and waiting for the exact right moment to start making plays. Though I thought maybe it'd be a bit more active with this Night Stalker pickup here with Masaros. And speaking of, he's now going on to Genuel, but he's just going to TP out in front of him. Looks like Masaros is just going to get back to farming. Mind you, he is top of the net worth board on this Night Stalker right now. Well, DJ, looks like he's going to end up dying on this task. Trying to run away, but eventually the Shadow Strike damage will kill him off. And it does. Yopaj able to pick up another kill on the Quap.
It's a solid pickup, not the biggest loss for Fnatic to take. They are starting to lose some space around the map, though. You can see Natsumi and Scam just working this top lane well. Not much Jabs can do on the Io to protect this tier 1 top. And they're not quite in a position to really maximize the bot push, but Masaros, it is nighttime. He's got level 3 Hunter in the night. Can get some good damage in, so it looks like it should be a straightforward 1-for-1 tower trade here.
That's an easy. Masaros will take care of the bot tier 1. A very passive game, 2-1 now. Neon with a slight kill advantage. It's like Moon was trying to go after Yopaj. That bot rune spot. Moon does manage to take away a regen rune for himself now, so he's going to be a very happy Storm for a while. That being said, his net worth has fallen behind a little bit, so he might just commit this regen to just trying to escalate and farm a bit. So you don't really want to fall too far behind when you are playing Storm Spirit.
No, definitely not. I mean, despite that early kill coming out for himself, the lane has still been really hard to maintain. Does find at least one stat camp for himself, and there's not much Neon can do. They don't have vision in that area. They might hunt bot.
They may. Scam going to be targeted here. They have the silence there on Masaros. They do. A lot of TPs coming in, however. Scam surviving, looking for an RP. Won't throw it out yet, but now Natsumi gets a 2-man chrono off. He got jabs in it as well. The RP out. The Sonic Wave. They blow them all up. Masaros, all he can do is get a courier and run for his life. It is definitely not very safe right now around Neon Esports.
No, they blow 3 big ults, but they find the big kill on Moon again, slowing down the Storm, who's already had a slow start from that laning phase. Gonna have to see if they can dedicate some resources out to Moon. Fnatic are still focusing mainly on getting Raven that safe farm, though. Massive Madness up, Echo Saber not too far off. You're going to be able to get some decent timings on him, but issue is Natsumi's not too far behind. It's the effect of running a Faceless Void with Empower. In fact, Natsumi's actually pulling ahead, so you've got to be careful with your timings here.
Oh, DJ is going to be in trouble mid lane. He tried to go for a snowball, but was dragged all the way down. However, now Raven's going to come in with the God Strength onto Yopaj with the silence out from Masaros. It is going to be enough. That's a massive pick-off to get there for Raven. Fnatic, they won't worry about going after the mid-tier 1 tower yet. They're just going to be very satisfied with the kill they just acquired.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one to offset the loss of Moon. They know they're stronger right now as well. There's no RP, there's no chrono, so they can force these fights a little bit faster. God Strength's their only limiting factor. Even then, Raven doesn't necessarily have to show up for these fights. As long as they've got Moon and maybe the Dark Ascension available in Masteros, they are set to fight whenever they want. Gonna have to wait a bit until Darkness does come back up, though. It's gonna be a while, and that should give some ample breathing room here for Neon to keep that pressure mid. They're keeping some heroes around, not really able to get a solid push, so the mid-tier 1 will stand for a bit longer.
That it will. Yopaj, mid lane, trying to get some damage off. Trying to force Masaros back, but they want to try and abuse the timing. 13 seconds on that Night Stalker ulti. Play hard meanwhile, going to get dusted up here by DJ. Shockwave going to fly through from Skem. He has an RP in 5. They are going to get the tier 1, and that's really all they wanted, but they might try to just force a team fight now. Play hard running into DJ. There's the nighttime coming in. Scam, we're looking for that RP attempt, not going to find it yet. Play hard meanwhile, being healed up by the mech, going to survive, but Moon eventually does take him out. Scam just going to go for the skewer back, as now Masaros going to go back in with the crippling spear, trying to go after the Magnus. They want Scam dead, but Scam still just trying to run. Now Moon with the Vortex, and now the Chrono. Natsumi, oh, 4 of them. Yopaj with the 4-man Sonic Wave, and now the RP out as well. They are still surviving, however. The snowball comes in from DJ. They just won't die yet. Raven, the God Strength out. Januel, it looks like he will die as well, and somehow Fnatic, they just survive.
Oh boy.
How?
It's just not enough. They couldn't find the follow-up. The follow-up RP only caught 2. The snowball saves from DJ again, playing a big part, and Raven pops out of nowhere to whack them all down. Whack-a-mole for Sven. Fnatic just holding the cards right, getting the positioning right. They need a lot more here on the side of Neon. Like, the farm has been good, but you're not at the point where the Void can actually overtake in damage output. It's just not the same as Sven. with God's strength. Like, the control of Chrono is great, but you're lacking if you can't burst anyone down in that. And the durability coming out here on Fnatic is just way too much to deal with, so they've got to watch that. Fnatic, though, do win out, but they don't really gain a massive lead from that. It's still 6-6. Just a 1k lead on Fnatic's end. It's not a massive amount. And overall, the cores of Neon aren't lagging too far behind. So Neon's going to have to reset, wait for their ults to be back up. Fnatic probably just going to wait for nighttime, which is going to be up now. So there's an opportunity for Masaros, and they are smoked up.
They might run into Scam first, but Fnatic looking towards that mid lane. Maybe not Scam. He shows himself now. Still, smoke going to be broken. Masaros going to go in, but the silence not going to be there in time. The rest of Neon looking to group up. Yopaj trying to find a way to jump in here. Sonic Wave on cooldown in front of the 15, but Moon just jumps straight in with the zip onto Play Hard, and the Walrus Punch will be enough. There's a relocate in, I believe. No, in fact, it wasn't. They just walked in. Into that T1 mid tower they go. Fnatic do claim a nice T1 for themselves. No contention whatsoever. Neon, they've just got to sit back and try to get some more farm up, I suppose. So they are still waiting on the Chrono to come off cooldown, and it was 5 seconds away now. Maybe they go for a smoke soon.
It's a possibility. They are clumping around Scam. He's got to be a bit careful in this tier 2.
Scam has the RP, but he's going to get Vortex up first. Now the silence is there, but Natsumi once again. A 3-man Chrono's out. Yopaj, Sonic Wave is there in time. The RP as well. They'll blow up Moon and Masaros. Raven was saved by Jabs. Jabs will have to cop the death for himself as Yopaj now trying to go after Raven. He cannot cancel the TP yet. But that's more like it from Neon. Last time it didn't quite work out, but this time it was perfect.
They get the biggest combination. Key factor there was that their ET was around as well to help out. The split came true. The damage was right, and Scam was in a good position to get the RP, although it didn't matter as too many people died in Chrono. Still managed to maximize that. So they are finding their spot here. Fnatic have fallen for this twice. Chasing down Scam, clumping up for the big Chrono. Need to respect the fact that Scam is a pos tree. He's a pos tree Magnus, right? Like, he's going for this aura build-up. He's going Guardian Greaves first. It's not the Blink Echo Saber. So he is really just there to keep people alive and to get the RP off. They need to be cautious about committing too hard on that mag, as Natsumi has proven time and again that he is there to back up Scam, and they know their combination. So a bit of a mistake from Fnatic, punished hard. They don't lose as much as they could have. The fact that Raven lives is still a big boon for them. He does still maintain a slight net worth lead over the Faceless Void, and once again, they are aware these cooldowns are down. So there's no power on Neon as RP and Chrono are down for the count, and they could force a fight.
Well, they see Masaros.
Radiant's bottom tower is in danger.
They want to fight again. All these cooldowns are there for Neon. They've got to wait maybe another 20-30 seconds to be able to go for a big 5v fight. It's like they'll just go down to the bot lane now with Raven and Jabs and get started on that tier 2 tower. Same will happen for Neon Esports. They'll get started in the top tier 2, but that's going to be glyphed up as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
The tier 2s are gone. Eventually, that is.
Scam.
A spot of trouble. Masaros trying to get started. DJ. Shockwave out. Shard's going to block him off. Natsumi jumping in. They have the Chrono, but they definitely don't want to commit for the Tusk. They won't need to anyway. DJ's going to die. Very nice stuff here. Neon, they can just get back to that tier 2 tower now.
It's gonna be a tier 2 for tier 2 trade in the end though. They did lose their bot tier 2 for this, so it's still fairly okay for Fnatic. They did sacrifice DJ just to stall out a bit more. You are still seeing Fnatic again lead slightly in net worth. Still a very even game, but this is a scary moment now for Fnatic. The RP and Chrono are back up, as you mentioned. The Guardian Greaves are up now in Scam, so he is harder to kill as well. And they do dip into that Roche pit without the tier 2 and without that mid tier 1 to TP2, without any vision as well from Fnatic. This is going to be a straightforward Roche for Neon.
Absolutely. That's easy Roshan. The Aegis going to go the way of Natsumi, I'm sure. Does take it. They immediately smoke up. They want to get these skills off cooldown again, or rather on cooldown again, but Moon, oh, that could be a nice target, Moon. Might be bad timing for him. He cops a scream. He's a bit low on mana now. Play hard, looking to try and get an impale off, but he won't get it off in time. Meanwhile, Masaros does have an Aghanim Scepter up, and Moon gets his Orchid out. So you've got two big items coming out on Fnatic now, and they might try to make a play with these. Natsumi still smoked up now, has it broken, moves up with the Chrono, but oh, he misses everything. Snowball, they will get DJ at least. That's not what they wanted. DJ will cop the death. Impale is there, but now Moon zipping in with the Orchid, trying to go after that Nyx Assassin. Silence spot by Masaros, but a BKB from Natsumi. The Sonic Wave as well. Jabs trying to relocate out, but the RP. Scam, he stops it all, and Raven has been left behind. He's going to have to try and fight back, but Scam is going to die, and Raven will be able to walk out of there. Snowball back onto play hard. Smite Carapace going to stop them in their tracks in the stomp. Back, Jabs, what are you doing here? Jabs is going to die. Raven does get Januel in the end, and now Natsumi is also going to go down. He does have the Aegis. Januel going to buy back. Back in, Yopaj looking to just go for more. Meanwhile, Masaros kills off Play Hard on the side. And we'll come back in onto DJ. Natsumi, time walk, on cooldown for another second. He's trying to run, but the Orchid comes in from Moon at the perfect time. Yopaj just trying to TP back home. Moon barely going to miss out on another kill. Definitely a great team fight there for Fnatic.
Really big win. Just down to the fact that Natsumi had to start that fight without any bait up front. So they didn't have Scam to clump them all up. They didn't have any hero up front to force Fnatic's attention to get caught. And he only really caught DJ when it wasn't the biggest target to go for. Neon are also kind of struggling when they don't find the clump up here. Scam, going for this Aura build, going for this utility Magnus, is bypassing the blink as well. Going straight for a Solar Crest, which can buff you up and help you sustain yourself and your team. But this does mean he's not going to find the angles to get the RP. And I think, you know, even as a utility Magnus, a blink is still necessary for him to get into position. So they're going to need to maybe consider that as a pickup down the line as Fnatic have start to eke an advantage out. 2k up now. Moon with the Orchid, as you pointed out, just getting so much control out. His Bloodstone not too far off now as well, just lacking the boosters. And once you've got that, it's going to be harder to pin this Storm down. You've also got the SNY up in Raven. So he's got some status resist coming in. He's got an obscene amount of strength in Agi. He hits like an absolute truck at this point, along with the fact that he has an Imp Claw. So you can expect one of those hits to just crit off the bat, and that's never fun. Really interesting as well. Raven's not opting for the fast Ags, just focusing on keeping that early to mid-game momentum going here with his team. And with an IO, I suppose it's not necessary to have that movement ability. And they do smoke up with this slight advantage they have worked themselves up to.
See what they can get done. They're going to be fighting into a Chrono RP and Sonic Wave all over again. But play hard. Looks like he is going to be caught out with the Orchid from Moon. They get one. Neon probably won't want to fight 4v5. That'll be enough for them to back out. That'll be it. Just a slight net worth lead here for Fnatic. Doesn't look like it's going to last very long.
No. There's a lot of spells up on Neon. The blink is very close for Scam.
Oh,
might have an opportunity.
TP's in, going after jabs. Spirit Vessel popped, but now they'll turn back around onto the Quap. She'll use herself up. Natsumi does have Chrono, but is unwilling to throw it out yet. He has popped that BKB though, so he needs to be careful. Masaros is sneaking up from the side with the Void, and now the silence out. Moon is going to zip in as well. They'll find two of them in the back lines. Raven trying to run away. DJ's there on Schem controlling up the mag. They're going to find every single one of them. In fact, Play Hard, he just respawned up. He's going to die again. It's all off the back of Masaros. Just flying across the ditch and finding the two cores in the back.
Yeah, that was just so awkward for Neon. They forced the fight, but they were literally like 50 gold away from getting this blink on Schem. I'm not sure why they forced the fight right then. He didn't have the blink. They needed the blink for him to set up, and a massive mistake for Neon. 7k lead out of nowhere for Fnatic, as they do manage to find some key item pickups as well. The Moon finishing up his Bloodstone. Raven already having that Reaver to build into the Satanic, just really getting tanky on the Sven. And again, just bypassing the Ags. Doesn't need it when he has the IO. And now Fnatic just rips into a tier 2. So only one outer tower left here for Neon. Need to maximize the farm potential they have with Empower on a Void. But even that's kind of fallen behind. Like, Natsumi's playing so far away from Schem, they're not able to get that out. He doesn't flash farm as fast as you'd expect in this downtime.
No, he does not. Group up again from Neon. Not gonna really find much. It looks like they just find safety in numbers right now, so they're just gonna stick together. $9k net worth lead for Fnatic. It just grows so quick after one bad team fight, and the Sun looked kind of bad for them. Luckily for them, they don't have to worry about anything like an Aghanim Sven, which is always going to be kind of nice to not have to worry about. But, you know, I guess for Raven, he doesn't want to go into that knowing the blink and the time walk away, and even the skewer away is going to be there. You want to risk flying into a very dangerous predicament if you can avoid it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Mid lane, there is a big smoke up here, Neon. Gopage gonna just blink in, but Masaros sees everything. Still trying to wrap around. Raven coming in from the backside, going on for that Elder Titan. They are just trying to burst Genuel down, and they will get him. Meanwhile, Moon going back on to play hard. The Nyx Assassin also going to die, and they just want to go for more now. Yopage tries to blink away onto the creep wave, and Moon was waiting for it, and now they can easily go for that Quap with the Dispel on the stun. You cannot use through that. Even Natsumi forced the BKB up. He has the Chrono, but he has nowhere to throw it out. He's trying to TP, but the Walrus Punch comes in, and Natsumi is just going to die. Schem, the only one left around there. He's going to go for the TP play, and they are not going to be able to cancel it in time. A very strong couple of team fights here from Fnatic, and they will just continue through the bottom top lane.
Yeah, it's a mess for Neon. They just can't get their initiation right. Their smoke falls flat. They walk the wrong way. They assume that Fnatic was on the upper part of the Dire jungle instead of being on their triangle. So a bit of a mistake from Neon. They get punished hard again. They don't get to use their spells. I'm starting to see that play hard on the Nyx isn't doing as much. He's not able to pop his Spike Carapace in a big way to break Moon's initiation, and that's kind of costing them. Like the fact that Moon gets full control in these fights without a BKB, can just zip, zap, back and forth, and the fact that they always squash this bug first is giving Fnatic a lot of opportunities in these fights. Playhard has to watch his positioning here. As the Nyx, he's saving up for a blink to start to set up for his team, but it does feel like it's a bit too late as the Roche now is going to be taken by Fnatic. Now, there is still Chrono RP, so Neon has an opportunity. They're going to smoke up.
They will. Roshan going down very quickly, however, with the added benefit of DJ's tag team. They are going to try and fight this one out, but Masaros just holding them all back. Chrono going to be expended here for Masteros as well. They just want something out of this, but now Moon going to zip through onto Playhard with the Stormhammer. They want that Nick Stand again, but the RP! Skem comes in, but DJ! He will save them with the Snowball, just saving the day for them as Jabs, waiting for the relocator to be over. Gets the tether back onto Raven. Natsumi now in massive, massive danger. He needs to time walk away, but it was on cooldown. And Moon going to go back in onto Januel. They want the Titan. They want even more than that. They would love Skem. And they're going to go for it with the Snowball in onto the high ground. Fnatic are starting to really clean up here. DJ, a great save out. Skem currently tipping Yopaj as he's just going to take bounty runes away from Fnatic. He's just trying to do his best to delay the high ground push that was happening, but now the Orchid is out onto Yopaj. He will just go for the Yule Scepter, try and survive through it with the TP play, but Moon knows exactly where he goes. He does get the kill. Back towards that top lane, Fnatic are going to be able to clean up this Rax.
They don't have a defense that can come out. Even if they respawn, no Chrono, no RP. Not many options here for Neon unless they find a misstep, get the chain stunts off of their ET. Nyx, no opportunities. So they're going to have to give these objectives, maybe play tag a bit with Shockwave, but not many options.
Oh, Impale is out from Playhard. He gets two, but Raven has too much status resist. It just doesn't last long enough. Into the team fight, Natsumi, no Chrono available, trying to go after DJ. He will not be able to finish him off. You look at how confident Masteros is just kind of running into them. No worries in the world as Playhard just going to get ripped apart. The Orchid's there. They should have enough damage, and they will. Into the mid-racks. Seems like nothing is stopping Fnatic from this point on. They have such a high net worth lead at 25k now. Yopaj going to try to jump in with the BKB out onto Jabs. Yules will be there, but they'll turn back around onto Natsumi, and Natsumi's gone. Yopaj does kill off the IO, but what does it matter when everyone else is just dying around you? Skem, he will be able to get away, but the GG has been called. And that'll be a 2-0 victory coming out for Fnatic.
And that was a strong performance out from Fnatic. Neon, they got to pick up the Magnus, they got to pick up the Faceless Void this time around. They had the Yopaj special quap. Not quite enough. They dipped back into this Nyx assassin support that on paper would have been nice against the Storm. Playhard couldn't really get the max utility from his kit as Fnatic was very disciplined in figuring out where that Nyx was first before fighting. So heads up plays from Fnatic. Neon gonna have to look for their win in a different series as Fnatic does come out on top, and they are starting to show the strength of this lineup. They keep falling back to the IO, it pays off. Masaros is showing his flexibility in hero, so it's looking a bit better. Neon gonna have to go back to the drawing board, reconsider what they want from each other on the roles. I think Skem's Magnus, it was looking good early, but it just couldn't quite get the goods once the Chrono was falling flat. So that's something for Neon to kind of consider. But Fnatic, props to them. You scored themselves a nice series win.
That they do. And John, with that, that brings us to our final series of the night. And this is going to be probably one of the ones that people are most excited about. It's going to be TNC Predator versus Team Dog. And I do wonder who comes out on top of this one. Of course, TNC at the top of the groups right now, but Team Dog not to be underestimated. It's a superstar kind of lineup here with this Team Dog side, and well, in 10 minutes we're going to find out how this draft's going to go. It's MLP, Dota, and John X Fire. We'll see you all again very, very soon for the final series of the night.